Hi everybody, I'm Rob Kennedy, President of the Hoop Group, and welcome to the first of what will be a weekly installment of How to Get Recruited. We get asked by kids and by parents all the time, what do I do to help myself get recruited? Well, we're going to try to give you some tips along the way on this weekly video blog. This week's a huge week for a lot of you out there and throughout college basketball. National Letter of Intent Signing Day is tomorrow, and some of you are going to realize a lifelong dream of being able to sign that letter of intent. But I want to make sure that you fully understand and that you've asked a couple really important questions before you go ahead and sign that letter of intent. Remember, if you sign a letter of intent and you don't complete 1 year of school at that particular institution, you've got to sit 2 years if you transfer to another institution. So you really got to think about that. You got to make sure this is the right school and not just the right coach. So there's 4 questions that I think that you as a player or a parent or a coach have got to make sure that you're asking that particular college. First is, what happens if the coach leaves? Remember, you're signing this document with the school and not the coach. Now, lately, a lot of people have been able to get out a letter of intent, a lot more than they used to be able to. I think that's terrific, and we need to see more of that. But you've got to ask not the coach, but the athletic director, what happens if that coach is gone? A lot of kids and families ask the coach, think about it, he either got fired or got another job. He's not at that school, so he doesn't have the ability to go ahead and give you that waiver. It's got to be from the athletic director. Know that going in right off the bat. Second thing, you've got to make sure that you've been admitted to that particular school, or at least that you've had the conversation with the admissions office that you're likely to get admitted. That's one of the loopholes that more colleges have used over the last couple of years, and obviously we think that's terrible, and it says something about that school, so go and look if they've done that. But if you're not admitted to school, that letter of intent is null and void. It's their loophole to get out of that contract. Next question you got to ask, what happens if I get hurt? Remember, all NCAA scholarships are 1 year renewable. Now, there's a lawsuit that's moving on, a class action against the NCAA that hopefully goes the right way and protects, student athletes' rights, which too many times we don't do that. The NCAA is worried about their business side, not student athletes. But it's not a 4 or 5 year scholarship. What happens if you get hurt? Make sure that you know the parameters from that school's athletic director as well as the coach about where you stand. Are they willing to say to you eye to eye? They're not going to put it in writing, but are they able to say to you that if you do get hurt, that scholarship's still going to be there? And the last thing, the 4th question I think you got to ask, what exactly is covered in this scholarship, all right? Tuition, fees, room, board, and books, okay? But there's another class action lawsuit out there against the NCAA. You kind of get the idea here, right? Because too many scholarships don't cover those in total fees. And so what happens is it can cost you a couple $100 up to over $1,000 in fees. Make sure you know exactly what that scholarship covers. Hey, look, if you're lucky enough to sign a letter of intent throughout this next week, congratulations. That is a great accomplishment, something that you, your family, your high school coach, your AAU coach, everybody should be proud of. But remember this, it's just the start of this journey, not the end of it. You got to keep working hard, have a great high school season. And for those guys who didn't sign early, don't worry, there's still plenty of time. Got your whole high school season in the spring to try to figure out where you're going to school. As always, if you've got questions, email me at robk@hoopgroup.com, or you can hit me up at Facebook at robkhg, or as well you can go to our Hoop Group site. And don't be afraid to go post where you're going to be playing your college basketball on our Facebook site. All right? Thanks, and as I said, this is the first of a weekly installment as we try to help players and parents and coaches figure out what they can do to help get recruited.